Oh, at a grill. Do you remember that? We go to the grill. Breaking the story.
Sorry.
Hey y'all, welcome to Rock-N-Brews Episode 1, the Union Station Brewing Company podcast. I'm John Wheat, I own the brewery. Just a quick disclaimer before we introduce my co-host. Union Station Brewing Company is a family-friendly brewery. This podcast, not so much. So if you're sitting around the kitchen table playing Yahtzee with your kids, you might want to change what you're listening to.
Is it my turn to talk yet? Well, I'm Thomas, and I don't own the brewery, but I work at the brewery.
Coming up in a year, aren't you?
Coming up on a year.
How do we meet?
Well,
that's a good story.
That is a good story. Well, one night I was just up here hanging out, having a beer, and the bar got super busy, and I took it upon myself just to get behind the bar and start pouring beer. Could have gone one of two ways. John could have got really mad, or he could have been really grateful. But he was grateful, and we've become very close friends ever since that day.
I remember you were hanging out here because of Carrie.
Well, yeah, I come up here to see her, but...
Yeah, and I come over from axe throwing, so we have brewery, tap room, and then we also have 8 lanes of axe throwing if you ever want to do that. Shameless plug. But I come over, and this dude's behind the bar just serving beers like he's been here for 3 years, talking to customers, bullshitting with them. It was absolutely fantastic. And I was like, all right, you're good, you're hired, done. And he's been here since.
Well, the girls were struggling behind the bar. They couldn't keep up.
Okay. They're not listening to this. It's all good.
That's all good.
Oh, man. So we decided to do this podcast just because, let's face it, there's a whole lot that happens here. And you guys don't know what goes on behind the scenes, what happens when the doors are closed, what happens when the doors are open. And we just laugh. We talk about stuff. We have a great time here. And there's just, shenanigans, tomfoolery that happens here is hysterical. And, Thomas and I have just become really, really close friends, if you can't tell already. That's why we're doing this thing. But we thought it'd be really cool because y'all could finally see what happens back, or at least hear what happens back here. The stories. It took us damn near 20 minutes to whittle down just a few stories to talk about during this episode.
Yeah, I think the ones we're going to talk about are some of the funnier ones, too.
I think so. Yeah. So it looks like you brought something.
So,
what did you bring?
Yes.
It's show and tell time, although you can't see. Here. Oh, I like the sound of that. You want to tell everybody what the hell that is? Because that looks scary.
I did bring a 24-ounce Icehouse.
Icehouse.
Apparently that's a beer, and without getting too crazy here, I think it's a pretty cheap beer, to be honest with you.
It was pretty cheap, yes.
Okay. Well, it has a story that goes along with the beer.
I sure hope so, because we're a brewery. We don't sell that.
We do not sell that.
Actually, we're a brew pub, so legally I could, but we're not gonna.
The can is just absolutely amazing, though. Icehouse, ice brewed for a bolder taste.
A bolder taste.
A cheap bolder taste.
5.5% alcohol.
5.5%.
It's red, white, and silver.
Red, white, and silver. But
that's awesome. Are we gonna taste this?
We can taste it.
All right. Did we just open it for the sound?
No, we can actually taste it.
All right. I can't wait. Here, pour it next to the mic so maybe we can hear. Oh no, let's not do that. You'll dribble all over the couch.
It's a cheap can.
It's a cheap can. It's got a hole already. Y'all can't see this. Donate money. We'll buy some cameras, and then you can see this. But he's pouring this, and it's running down the side of the can.
All right, that'll do.
All over. All right.
There you go.
Here, cheers.
Cheers.
I guess we get to.
So we'll taste it, and then I'll tell you the story.
Okay, there'll be a couple seconds of dead air while we taste this. Oh, you taste first.
I'll taste first.
And okay, so he's smelling it.
It smells like piss water, to be honest with you.
I can't wait. There's no grimace yet. He's trying to taste it.
Honestly, it's pretty shitty.
Okay. Oh. All right. I'm going too. Oh yeah, that's
It's like a light Schlitz, is what it is.
I would second that.
Malty.
Yeah. You could save some money if you bought Schlitz though.
You definitely could save a little bit.
They don't even make a light Schlitz, do they?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Schlitz Light. If anybody can find it,
Schlitz Light. Yeah, bring it in. We'll taste it on the air for you. Oh man. All right. So what's the story with this? Why Icehouse in my brewery?
This actually happened last night. So there's a group of people that come in, and generally when people come here after 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. They normally come from another establishment.
They pregame before the show.
They pregame, of course. I mean, it was Saturday football, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody's out pregaming. And they show up here. And when they show up, you know, I always say, you know, do you want a menu? Look at all our beers. And they kind of just look at me and say, well, can I have a Coors Light? And I'm like, well, we don't have that here. Okay, this is a brewery. So I give them a menu. They go to a table and they just chillax, look at the menu. And I wait around for 5 or 6 minutes. And a guy comes up to the bar and says, hey, my friend would like to order a drink. And so I'm like, okay, I'll be right over. And I come over to the table and I've already handed them their menus. And, you know, he's like, do you have anything other than seltzer here? And I'm like,
no, we're a brewery. We're a seltzer brewery. That's all we do here.
well, we brew that too. I mean, and it's good and I like it.
It is.
But he looks at me and goes, do you have anything other than seltzer? And I'm like, well, yeah, if you flip the menu over, it's got all of our beer.
There's 2 sides?
There's 2 sides to the menu. Can you believe that?
Oh my gosh, printers can do that now?
I know, it's crazy. So he flips the menu over. He's like, oh, okay. And he's looking. And he stands there for about 2 minutes looking at this menu. And I'm like, well, maybe I can help get you in the right direction. What do you normally drink? And I'm thinking he's going to say the standard Michelob Ultra, Miller Lite, you know, something like that. Out of all things, he says Icehouse. And I'm like, got you. Well, I know exactly what you need, and it's an Outlaw, which is the closest
I know
we can
exactly
get
what
on
you
the
need. It's
craft
right
side.
down the street at another bar.
Yeah, that's right. I don't even think they sell that in other bars, to be honest with you.
I don't think so either.
No.
There's,
We'll have to look.
there's good reason. I'm still drinking this. There's a really good reason they
Yeah.
don't.
And he's comes back at me instead of an Outlaw with a Trax Over the Border, which is our in-house brewed Mexican lager.
Fantastic beer, by the way.
It's fantastic. Add a little lime to it.
Usually
and-
serve with lime, yep.
Yeah, it's awesome. And he's sitting there, and I asked him, do you want a lime with your Mexican lager? And he says, no, I want a pint. I'm like, well, I know you want a pint, but do you want a lime? And he goes, no, I want a pint. And I'm like, okay, that's all I needed to hear. Got you. So whether he wanted a lime or not, he got it with a lime.
Oh, good.
He did.
Good. It's better that way.
It's better that way.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. I don't know why people don't come here to pregame and then go other places.
It would help out a lot.
It would. Oh my gosh. The customers we have, I mean, I love them all. They're making all of this possible. So, you know, I'm not mad at it, but any other breweries out there, you can totally sympathize. And, you know, I don't know if this is like the magicians when you tell them how the trick works. I don't know if y'all are going to be mad because we're actually talking about our customers and the crazy ass things that happen with them or not.
We just won't say names.
I got a customer story for you.
You got a customer story for him?
Yes.
Okay.
Very few times do we have to actually kick somebody out. And this is one of those times. So I'm behind the bar and we have a beer garden out back, a fire pit, covered seating, open seating, cornhole, the whole nine. Like everything you'd want at a brewery is back there. And a customer comes in and he goes, you need to come out and handle this guy because I'm about to knock him out. And I was like, sir, what's going on? What's happening? He says, he's pissing on the fire. And I said, he's what? Thinking clearly I heard that wrong. He goes, no, he's out there pissing on the fire. And like there's kids out there and everything. And I'm about to knock him out. And I was like, all right, show me where. So I walk out there and there's nobody around the fire. So now I'm thinking I'm getting punked. He's like, no, he's over there. And I look over and there's this area that has 2 brick walls and a corner and he's pissing in the corner. And I walk over and I said, excuse me, what are you doing? Like that. Like I wasn't super polite. I know I should have been, excuse me, sir. Could you tell me what the hell you might be doing? And he's like, well, I'm going to the bathroom. What do you think I'm doing? He probably said I'm pissing. And I said, you realize the bathroom is 20 feet that direction.
It's really not that far.
5. Yeah, it probably wasn't. I was probably, yeah. No, it's like 3 feet inside the freaking door of where he was standing. And he's like, well, I had to go. And I said, you have to go. That's absolutely correct. I said, put that away and come with me. And so he like zips up his pants. And I was like, come on, follow me. And so he's like stumbling, following me. And we walk through the brewery. And he's like, are you kicking me out? And I'm not whispering to him. I'm like, yes, I'm kicking you out. He's like, this is embarrassing. I said, you're damn right it's embarrassing. You're a grown-ass man with your dick out pissing on my brick wall out back. And all the customers are looking over. And he's like, no. And I was like, you're gone. I said, please don't come back. And so he left.
But didn't someone like call up here on his behalf a couple months ago and
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, they
asked to
did.
get it back?
They did. Yes.
Yeah, we were like, you know,
Oh my
you have any
gosh.
people that are coming with you tonight or whatever? And they said, well, yeah, but I don't think you would like it if someone else came. We're like, no, like it's fine, sure, you know. And they're like, I think you kicked him out at one point, and I'm like,
I mean, it's a short list, so
I mean,
start naming names. And so she said his name, and I didn't ask for ID. I mean, you know.
once you heard the name, it
Well,
was
yeah, and I was like,
probably
why?
not.
Why did I kick him out? And she's talking to him. She goes, "You did not." And I go, "Oh, is that fire ring pissing guy?" And she's like, "Yes."
And then I think
like,
she actually got mad at him and said,
that
"Did you
she-
actually
she
do this?"
is like chewing him out over the phone, and I guess they were, you know, quote friends, acquaintances. I don't know, but anyway, so like she is reaming him a new one on the phone, and I was just, you know, so then she hangs up, and she's just shaking her head. I said, "I think we need to reevaluate your friends." I said,
Oh,
we
yeah.
need to talk about who you hang out with. She's like, "Well, no, we weren't really friends, whatever." I was like, "Okay, whatever, that's all good." It's, I mean, just stuff that happens here. Just it's
For everybody
crazy.
that you don't know, our brewery actually has a beer garden out back, and so in the wintertime, and I guess even in the summertime, we've got a little fire pit outside, and everybody goes and hangs out and, you know, has a beer outside and enjoys the weather, unless you try to start the fire 5 minutes before close. You know, that's happened too.
That has happened too, yes. Some fire privileges have been revoked.
Revoked, absolutely gone out the window.
Yeah. We had a guy who was out back. It was cooler. It was a cooler night, and a customer. Okay, there was one customer that comes here that we allow to start a fire because we know him. He's a regular. He's in all the time. Love him, and so he has fire privileges, and he will 99% of the time, except for this one time, 10 minutes till close.
10 minutes till close.
He will come in and say, "Is it okay if I start a fire?" And we're like, "Yeah, good." And then he'll go out and he'll take it, he'll maintain it, he'll throw wood on and whatever. And we have all this split wood from the axe throwing facility over there, so it's just a crap ton of firewood. So he'll just sit there and maintain it, whatever. Super cool. And so he wasn't, I mean, he was around, but this other customer, first timer,
I
decided.
don't think I've ever seen him before.
Yeah, I never seen him. Decided to start a fire out back with diesel fuel.
I mean, normally we just use cardboard.
He pulled his truck around back, opened the gate, and got a can of diesel fuel
Yeah.
and poured it all over. There's power lines up there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not directly over the fire pit, but there was enough heat coming off of that fire that could have melted those things. And that could have been even more dangerous than catching the damn tree on fire that's even higher above those lines.
Pretty sure that was like in the middle of summer too. Like, why would you even want to do that in the middle of summer? It's too
I
hot
mean,
anyway.
Why would you use diesel fuel?
But why would you use this fuel? Yeah, I mean, I get
I
it.
mean, clearly he was hammered and just wanted a
For
fire.
sure.
Yeah. So
At least
yeah,
it wasn't 10 minutes before close.
at least it wasn't. Yes, because that one was kind of a bitch to put out. Oh my gosh, just the customers.
So another story that I really wanted to talk about that I think is absolutely hilarious is we had a customer, or I guess a couple, come in here, and they're regular. I mean, they come in here all the time. And we just opened our kitchen last week, and so we've been doing food and beer and axe throwing, and it's been pretty busy. It's been pretty busy. And customers think that you can just do everything and be everywhere at the same time, and everything takes a whole lot of everything takes just a whole lot of time. And so we had this couple come in, and all they did was complain that we didn't have food yet. Do you remember?
I do. And complain wasn't like bitch, like they're regulars. So it was kind of joking, kind of not. And you know, you joke with me a couple times about something, and that's fine. But if you keep going, I get defensive on the inside, and it's really hard to kind of laugh it off. And I know everybody is like this. You can have a thick skin, but eventually it's going to start to bother you.
Yeah, it honestly surprised me that they would come in here and ask for the same thing over and over again and expect it to be done immediately. But we did get it done. Finally, the kitchen is done. I mean, it took a while.
It was post-apocalyptic back there.
It was
I
bad.
mean, this building, if you're not a regular, if you just kind of picked this up because of some random QR code somebody sent you, it was built in 1888. There was a hotel upstairs until the 60s, random storefronts throughout the years, hardware store, bank, I don't know, bookstore, pawn shop, antique shop, all these sorts of things. It's like 6 different storefronts. And now they're all connected. We removed some walls, whatever. And so in the back was where I would shove everything as I was working on the renovations.
It was a mess back there.
It was a disaster. I mean, I'm talking sinks I pulled out, wood, pipe, anything you could think of would just get piled back there. So that all had to be cleaned up and then gutted and then built out into a kitchen. And quite honestly, I started it in February and I just finished it last month. So
But we do have food.
We do have food, yes.
And it's great food.
Thank you very much. It is very,
really
very
good.
good. I love it, yes.
Kind of something that people don't do downtown, you know.
Well, good food, fast service?
Good food, fast service, but it's a different style of food.
It is a different
I
style of food,
really
yes.
went anywhere downtown that they've got, you know, authentic barbecue that's made in-house. It's normally pre-packaged, pre-ordered stuff.
That's right. Yeah. We have a smoker out back, smokehouse, and so we do that, and we smoke chicken and pork and all that. It's really, really good.
It is good. So
You're making me hungry.
I am hungry.
And those nachos.
Oh, those are good too.
Oh, damn.
Can't forget about the guac pit too.
The guac pita.
Guac pita,
oh,
yeah.
chicken guac pita. Oof.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
But the same couple, they you know, asked for months, when are we gonna have food? And we're like, we're working on it. Well, we finally get food. And
Finally.
And
they come
after
in,
months.
and we're all excited. We have food.
We have food. Oh, we ate. We don't need any food. I'm like,
It's Taco
dude,
Tuesday.
Come on, man. It's Taco
Because
Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. They ate somewhere else. They ate tacos somewhere else.
And I'm sitting here. I'm like, great.
We gave
so we
them
don't have.
hell.
I know.
Gave them hell. Absolutely gave
But
them
you know
hell.
the next thing he did?
I do.
He asked if we had foot rail for the bar.
He goes, you need a foot rail.
What? So we can put a foot rail in that costs $3,000-$4,000, and then what? They're just going to sit at a table.
Yes.
We get food. They won't eat the food. We're going to get a foot rail for the bar. Guess where they're going to sit? They're going to sit right at the
At a
table.
table.
At the table.
I guarantee you.
That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. But at least we'd have a $4,000 foot rail. They're probably not that much, but it ain't. They're not cheap.
They're not cheap.
It's pipe. I mean,
It's
pipe's
pipe.
expensive.
And plus the labor to put it up, you know.
Yeah. Well, I lay pipe all the time. I mean,
Oh.
plumbing pipe, plumbing pipe. I don't lay pipe. All right. So let's switch from customers.
All right, we're done with the customers?
Kind of shift gears
Okay.
to something that's epic.
Okay.
This is epic.
Okay, I do like this.
All right, so if you're here and you know me at all, I'm one of those people, and you know you are too, deep down, who love Nickleback.
Who doesn't love Nickelback?
I mean, I do. And the documentary was fantastic. If you haven't seen it, catch it. It's on Netflix. Awesome. It's just great. So I play Nickelback a lot. And it's just great. There's a couple go-to songs that if I'm having a crappy day, I'll put on. If I'm dragging, I'll put on and I will crank up. And Remy, the dog here, the bar dog, is a fantastic bar dog, will just kind of go hide because the music's so loud. So anyway, I have YouTube Music, and that's what we stream on, we play music on, we do line dancing music through and all that sort of thing. And I got a little notification the other day on my phone that said that I earned the Nickelback badge.
The Nickelback badge, that's the thing.
There's a Nickelback badge. Yes.
On YouTube Music.
On YouTube Music, yes. And I earned that bad boy.
Really?
Yes. So I tapped it, as one does, and it said that I was in the top 0.5% of YouTube Music listeners for Nickelback.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
Is that even a thing?
It is a thing. I have screenshots to prove it.
I can't believe that.
Yes.
I mean, we do listen to it a lot.
Screenshots to prove it, yes.
I mean, it's
So-
more of an everyday thing here.
Oh, yeah. And now that I know that that's a thing, you wait. I'm going to be announcing that I am the top Nickelback listener on YouTube Music.
You know what I bet you're going to do? You're going to let the laptop play all day long.
all day long. I had it playing this morning before you showed up, buddy.
Just play the same thing on
was
repeat
cranked.
over and over again. Could
Yeah.
you imagine? But I mean, they're great though.
I mean, they are.
I mean, it
They
doesn't
have
matter
such-
how many times you listen to it, it never gets old.
No, it doesn't.
And I
No,
don't
it
understand
doesn't.
what the hate is with Nickelback. I mean,
I don't know. If somebody can explain that, I mean, go ahead, but I'm probably not going to listen. You can't convince me. I love them.
you like Nickelback.
I love Yeah. What else?
Oh, the storm this week.
Oh, damn, the storm.
I know it's still rough out there. Everybody's,
Yeah.
still some people don't have power or, electricity, and we kind of were fortunate enough here, but it was still a pain in the ass, wasn't it?
Oh, I mean, it was, but like, all the complaining I'm going to do is nothing compared to some of the destruction and desolation I've seen. And then other breweries, like North Carolina is just demolished. I mean, demolished. It's horrible. We had some windows blow out here. It rained in the tap room all night long. Rain was just streaming in, so the windows were up high over my garage door, and just blew all the dust around. Upstairs is lofted, so there's a big piece of ceiling that I took out, and upstairs hasn't been touched since probably the 60s. So there's dust up there since the 60s, and construction dust, concrete dust, all that sort of stuff. And it was just a whirlwind dust storm downstairs. And again, not complaining. I'm super grateful, very, very blessed that we got through that, without any horrible problems. But it looked like nobody had been here for about 3 years because there was so much damn dust all over everything in the morning.
You wouldn't realize that it gets used every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I was fortunate to not lose power, so I ended up...
I was fortunate you didn't lose power, because then you brought me your generator.
I did bring the generator.
I'm very fortunate you didn't lose power.
Now, the wiring aspect on the generator was a whole, big thing.
So, I don't know if any listeners are old enough to have watched MacGyver, but basically this dude could make a bomb out of a piece of gum and tinfoil and a twist tie. And so, Trooper Thomas shows up with his generator, and we quick hook it up to all the fridges. That was our 1 year anniversary Oktoberfest celebration. I had a permit with the city. The street was going to be shut down. Had the parking lot, bounce house, vendors, just bands, live music scheduled. Just a huge party for our 1 year anniversary.
Kitchen grand opening.
Kitchen grand opening, yeah.
Car show, I think, right?
Car show, yeah. Truck show. So I had all this food that I had gotten that week. I had a crap ton of pork butts smoked, a crap ton of chicken smoked. Everything was in these fridges, ready to go. And then the storm hits. And again, I know people lost everything. People lost their lives. People lost friends. So, I do totally understand the level of my complaining is minimal compared to what people have suffered through this. So I'm scared that I'm going to lose all this food and all this money,
and the beer. Don't forget the beer.
And the beer.
That's the most important
beer,
one.
Yeah.
The food's replaceable. The beer, not so much.
Yes. And so in my mind, I had moments of this is it. If we don't if this is gonna be the end of the brewery, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So Thomas shows up anyway. Fast forward a little bit, and we plug in all the fridges, not my cooler walk-in, but all the refrigerators. All the food is safe. He grabs the food out of the freezers, takes them to his house because he sells electricity. He throws them in his deep freezer, so that stuff can stay frozen. Everything's great. So it comes back, and we're trying to figure out how to hook up my walk-in, and we use a CoolBot system here. So I have 3 27,000 BTU AC window units powering my walk-in cooler, and they're 240 volt, 30 amp or something like that. So it's not your standard.
Oh, they're big boys.
110 plug.
Weird plugs.
Yes. And unfortunately, the plug on the generator, wasn't correct, and the cord on the AC unit wouldn't have reached the generator out on the street anyway. So
take a trip to Ace.
Take a trip to Ace.
Which I'm surprised they were open, because the lights were off.
They were.
They were letting a certain amount of people in at a time. Yep. And
they had a generator
surprisingly enough,
going.
They took cards still.
Yeah. They had a generator going, running their system.
Yeah.
And so that was awesome. I think everybody had their phones going, so that's how they could do cards.
Yeah.
Over the cell.
But they had this, I'm trying to get help in a dark aisle looking for a certain plug for a window unit. I don't know why they can't just make everything generic.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So we get this end. Basically, it's a socket that the AC unit can plug into. So Thomas comes back, and I had this cord that I had installed way back for food truck. Oh, we can't say the F word.
Oh.
Can't say food trucks here.
Nope.
So I had this big long cord installed for vehicles that deliver food that used to be able to be parked out front. And so it was 50, 70 feet long, hooked to my breaker panel. And so we quick unhook it from the breaker panel. We take the ends off, both ends. So now we just have this 50-foot, 10-gauge.
It's heavy, too.
It's heavy duty.
It's like big boy wire.
Big boy wire, yeah. It was rated for 50 amp. So I knew it would handle what we needed to send to the units. Anyway, I don't know how long it took, but we MacGyvered this cord together, and it's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's safe as hell, but not any of us really being electricians.
We did have a lot of people stop and help.
We did, yeah.
I mean, it took us probably, I would say a solid 2 hours, 5 people, and about a dozen beers to figure out what combination of wiring need to go to, because none of it was labeled.
Right.
None of it was labeled.
Right.
Which
and,
I think was the hard
And
part.
it's 4 wires coming off the generator. Has a crazy plug on the side of the generator. And then it goes
3.
through, and we only needed 3 on the end, which is weird for 240, but that's how these AC units are. So two of the leads had to be connected together. So we had like multi-testers going and everything. Duct tape.
A lot of duct tape.
Duct tape and electrical tape.
Yep.
Anyway, we got it going. So once the walk-in was running, we moved all of the food from the fridges into the walk-in, and we were able to make it through.
Could you imagine if we did all that work and 2 minutes later the power turned back on?
I was kind of expecting that to happen.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it was off for another day.
So
yeah, so we got some use out of it.
At least the beer didn't go bad.
Yes, no, and we have that cord for the future too.
We do.
Yeah.
So I was thinking if we had the event out there this weekend, we also could have prevented a traffic accident.
We could have.
We could have definitely prevented that because, Saturday night we're sitting at the, behind the bar, and it's not super busy. I mean, there's maybe, Friday night, I think it was. It's not super busy. I mean, there was maybe 10, 12 people here. It was kind of early in the evening, maybe 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we're standing there and we hear this loud bang.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a big intersection right outside the brewery on the corner there. And we're like, what in the world is that? So everybody walks outside and looks, and we see this flatbed pickup truck had pretty much lost an entire load of flooring. An entire pallet.
Entire pallet.
So I'm thinking this guy just didn't strap it right or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, we take another 2
because it happens all the time. People hit the railroad tracks right there really fast, and they lose loads, or whatever. So, go ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, so I walk a little further outside and see a whole bumper laying on the ground.
In the center of the intersection.
In the center of the intersection.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, what in the world?
So we're standing there.
John's like,
and we're looking at each other.
Should we help him or not?
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, he'll figure it out.
And I was like, I've done this before. Only I lost a load of railroad ties. And
a grill.
Oh, and a grill.
Do you remember that? We go to breaking the story.
Sorry.
We go to a storage unit here, and
sorry,
we're pulling this grill out of a storage unit, right? And this is not a small grill, okay? This is like one of those triple burner, got the side stove, big commercial style grills.
Yeah.
And we put it in the back of the truck, no straps, thinking it's heavy, right? It's not
It's
gonna catch
heavy,
wind,
yeah.
right?
I mean, I put it up against the tailgate so it wouldn't blow out.
Yeah, well, that didn't work out very well. We get about halfway back to the brewery with this ginormous grill, and I hear a bang and a clunk, and I look out the side mirror, and the grill's probably 50 yards behind us in the middle of a major highway. And I looked over at John and I said, do we just keep driving, or do we go back and get it?
So we're driving, and I'm watching this happen, and everybody says when horrible things in your life happen, you see them in slow motion, and that's never happened. I don't think that's ever happened to me before. If I trip, I fall fast. But I'm watching this grill, and just sort of lean back, lean over the tailgate, and I was stunned at what I was seeing, so I didn't say anything, nor did I slow down, and it just disappears. And I'm like, did I just see that? And I'm looking in my rearview mirror, and then I didn't see the grill behind us because it was traveling 60 miles an hour behind us, and then it starts slowing down, #friction, and I'm like, I think we just lost the grill. And Thomas was like, we did what? And it was, oh my gosh, it was so funny. And it was going to my daughter's house. So we get out and we kind of pick it up, and we're like, oh, it's not too scratched. And we're picking up pieces, the burner deflectors are laying all over the place and whatever. So we kind of packed this thing back up into my truck and took it over to my daughter's house.
So when we were driving and the grill had come out of the bed of the vehicle,
yes.
and you saw it behind you at any given time in your mind, Did it ever cross? I'm not going back for that.
I'm not gonna lie, yes, because I didn't want to lift it up, but it was dead in the center of the lane.
So if it was
had it
off
drifted
the road,
off to the side, I'd have just kept driving.
okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We were out in the country enough that it just would have sat there.
I mean, we've seen grills on the side of the road.
Somebody would have come by and picked it up and probably taken it to recycle,
Probably.
which is probably what we should have done.
Probably what we should have done. But
Because-
what did we do with it?
We gave it to my daughter.
And so we get it, set it all back up. I mean, it's dented, scratched.
Yeah, it kind of
The
closes.
door doesn't close
It
all the
kinda
way.
closes, yeah.
But we left it there, and
Yeah.
I don't really think she noticed until I said something.
Until you
and
said
then she
something.
gave you shit for it.
This she did, yeah.
Yeah, she did. She didn't realize that it had left the bed of the truck at one point
No.
at 55 miles an hour.
No.
I don't think so.
It was awesome.
But this guy had lost this load of...
Oh, yeah, back to the story.
Yeah, back to the story.
Back to our intersection.
This guy had lost this entire load of... Yeah. had lost this entire load of flooring. And, I mean, it is all over downtown. I mean, an entire pallet's worth, probably 2,000
It was a yard
pounds.
sale, y'all.
It was
yeah.
nice. I mean, if you needed some free flooring, that was the time to get it. Don't you just wish it was like a safe filled with a bunch of money? That'd be
Yeah.
nice too.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But
I want to know where all those cops came from. They came fast.
I mean, the police
They were-
department's like 5 minutes down the road.
I know, but like, damn, they showed up
They did. Then there was like
fast.
there was like what, 8 of them?
Yeah, I mean, so I yelled over to the same daughter with the grill. I was like, grab the cones and bring them out, and we can cone stuff off. So everybody knew that there was a problem up ahead. By the time we got the cones out there's already a cop kind of sideways blocking traffic, so nobody would run into said bumper. And so we just start lifting up the flooring and start loading it back onto the truck, and that's shit's kind of heavy. I mean, I'm not gonna
The box
lie,
of that flooring
but
ain't light.
a crap ton of people stopped to help pick it up too.
There was a
And
lot
it
of
was
people.
it was really cool to see everybody kind of jump in,
But now
and help out.
The car that he really didn't lose his load because it was not fastened properly.
No, he did not.
A car ran the stop sign, actually drove right past the brewery,
Yes.
stopped a little bit, and then kept going, and then I don't know how, but hit the corner end of this flatbed truck, which if you can't see a truck that big, you got a problem.
Yeah, my only thinking is they were looking right when they should have been looking left.
That's probably it.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
And it was
thankfully.
a tiny car, too.
It was a tiny car.
Like a
yeah.
little Honda.
It's smaller now.
Oh, it's a lot
There's a
smaller
lot
now.
of parts of it.
I would assume that car is probably totaled.
Yeah. So we're on the corner, and I do have an outside camera kind of looking at the parking spaces, a little bit of the parking lot. And I'm wondering, I wonder if I caught that on film. So I come in and I rewind the security camera, and you can kind of see the offending car pull up and slow down and then pull out and like hit the truck and whatever. So I jog out, and there's, I don't know, 40 cops standing around. Not really. There's probably like 5 cops standing around like discussing everything. And I said, I have a camera that kind of shows what happened. So a couple cops come in.
And they're like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. So they come in and they're standing around, and I play it for them. And it ends. He's like, okay. And they turn around and walk out.
Not a thank you?
And
Nothing?
the door shuts. And I'm like, you're welcome. and everybody, the customer's just like, wow. I mean,
Not a thank you. You just
nothing.
saved 2
Yeah.
hours on our day.
Yeah, yeah,
nothing,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, they didn't come back and ask me to export it, or they didn't want copies, but they were able to see what happened, and hopefully it corroborated. I think that's the right cop term, whatever story that was. But yeah, I mean, it's never a dull moment here.
No,
and
never.
That's pretty much why we're doing this podcast.
Oh, for sure.
'Cause-
I felt bad for the guy with all the flooring. I mean,
I did too. Most of it was okay, but there was some of those tongues were messed up.
they were a little messed up.
So I don't know what he's going to be able to do with it.
But the entire strap on the truck broke.
That's right,
From
yes.
the impact. Do you remember?
Yeah,
The whole
I
strap,
do.
and they were not small
The whole
straps.
strap
And that's
snapped,
kind of
yeah.
where it went all over the intersection. But
Yeah. I mean, it looked like he had it loaded. I mean,
the tow truck was there quick. Put down another car to get that car. Wasn't
that's
that
right.
funny?
Yeah, that was
You
funny.
remember that?
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen a bunch of people act so quickly, and the intersection was swept and cleaned up pretty quick too.
It was very quick.
An EMS guy was there, and I mean, I'm all kind of helpful. I was like, "You need a broom, a dustpan?" He's like, "No, our guys will be here to clean this up in about 2 minutes." I was like,
That's pretty
"Holy
good.
damn! I'm glad we're downtown."
Yeah.
So if anything ever happens, maybe I'll have 5 cops here really quick too.
Yeah. In case
Maybe.
someone else pisses on the fire again.
That's right. Yeah, I should have just called the cops for that.
You should have called the cops.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We do have a couple cops that come here, and I mean, not in uniform, but off duty. They come in and hang out and
You know,
and
with their
talk.
family.
So, yeah, so
Which is
we're
nice.
we're in good with them. Hopefully I don't get anybody in trouble for
Yeah,
not saying
no.
thank you. I don't know. This is probably enough for this episode. We're a little over a half hour. So we have a couple other things. So we want to do a question of the show. So hop over to the Facebook page. Right now it is Union Station Brewing Company /Tracks Facebook page, and post a question after we post this episode. And if we pick your question, we'll read it on air and we'll address it. No holds barred. Ask us anything, and we will answer anything.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully they're really good questions. But anything, like if you want to know what beers we're brewing next, why we don't have Icehouse.
I think that's pretty.
So while you were telling your story, I actually poured some back into my glass. I've been drinking this. I don't know if my taste buds are numb.
Does it kind of just like
It's just kind of, I don't know.
Does it get better as you go?
It does.
It's weird because it's getting warmer and you're drinking more of it, which is not a good sign.
No, it isn't.
That's not good.
I still don't think I would buy it.
Yeah, I don't. That's not my. Yeah.
So anyway,
could you imagine going to a brewery and saying, "Can I have an Icehouse?" Like, I don't understand.
Could you imagine going to a brewery and having Icehouse on tap?
Like, I would be scared to buy it at just a liquor store.
So I imagine, a brewery, nobody cares the legal differences, so it doesn't matter. I feel like if you walked into a dive bar, I'm talking about a roadhouse on the side of the road with a bunch of motorcycles out front, you know what I mean? A couple beat up pickup trucks and that sort of thing.
That's my kind of
place. And you walk in, I think they would have Icehouse on tap.
Do you think so, really?
I
Do they even make Icehouse on tap? That's the next question I got.
They should. It'd be kind of a cool tap handle.
My question
I feel like I've seen it if you're looking sideways.
Kind of, maybe?
Icehouse sideways, yeah. What's your question?
My question is, do you think it belongs on the can wall we have here at the brewery?
Definitely it does.
Really?
We talked about it on the podcast, yes. So we have a shelf right now. And Thomas and I will buy each other random beers to try if we're traveling.
We kind of formulate what we're going to brew next with the beers.
With what we taste, yeah.
Yeah, we taste them. We're like, oh, we like that. Oh, we don't like that. And
yeah.
we kind of did that with the Tropic Train a little bit.
Yeah, so we have an IPA on tap right now, Thomas's Tropical Train, and Thomas wanted an IPA on tap. And I was like, well, let's brew one and you can help and whatever. So we sat down. I don't know how many we had IPAs in front of us, and we kind of drank them. And Thomas likes Buzzwords. So what kind of IPA is this?
It's a double dry hop hazy India Pale Ale.
That's right. And he likes saying India Pale Ale because it's more syllables.
I mean, yeah.
That's
it just
right.
sounds more professional, you know?
Yes. So
sounds like, someone says, hey, I brewed an IPA. You're like, an IPA. But if you say India Pale Ale, they're like, wow, what is that?
Damn.
Especially for the non-beer drinkers.
Classy.
It's for the people that come in here
it's
and order
for the
Coors
Cicerone.
Light. Yeah, the Cicerone. That's what they, they don't understand. It's not a Coors Light. So,
that's right. That's right. It's not a Coors Light. Damn, it's not a Coors Light. Although, apparently, my Cogsworth, which is a Pilsner,
tastes like
Tropicalia.
I know, which is super weird.
Hashtag customer bullshit.
Which, it's not
Make
even
that trend, y'all.
It's not even remotely close to a Tropicalia.
No, it's not hoppy at all. There's
not at all.
The hops in it, there were like 2 hops in it. And when I say 2 hops, I'm talking like, I don't know,
2 ounces.
2 ounces of hops in that because it's a Pilsner.
Which absolutely, when she said that, I was
like... You
can
go places and get hoppy Pilsners. Like, that's a thing. This is not a hoppy Pilsner. This is a Pilsner. It's a 6.1%, so it isn't light, but it is a beer that tastes like beer. So if somebody comes in and they're not a Mick Ultra person, maybe they're like a Bud or a Miller person or something like that, I'll have them try the Pilsner. So, like, she's drinking this, and she's like, this tastes just like this one beer I had out of Athens, and I think it's Athens up there. And so she's naming stuff off, and she's Tropicalia, that's it. This tastes like Tropicalia. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, this is really good beer. I was like, okay, cool, keep drinking. And I walk away, and I found Thomas, and I was like, dude, our Pilsner tastes like Tropicalia. He's like, what?
Didn't she also say something about I think it was the Mexican lager, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right, y'all. I don't even know how to address this. Okay, this is one of those moments where you just get that customer. Okay, and I had never seen this woman. I doubt she's coming in ever again. She didn't look like the podcast listening type. So anyway, she was talking about Silver Bluff, which is down in Brunswick, fantastic
It's a great brewery.
Love their beers, whatever. They distribute this Mexican lager. It's their most popular beer. Solid Mexican lager. And
I still like ours better.
I was just gonna say I do
Okay.
too. I like ours better, but
I
I'm a
mean,
little biased.
obviously the customers do too, because we brewed it twice now, right?
No, this is like 3 times. Yeah,
we're on the third time.
Yeah.
Okay.
We brewed it for the first time last year for Cinco de Mayo.
And we've kind of
Yeah.
just kept it.
Yeah. So she was like, yeah, they have this really good beer and whatever. And I said Mexican lager. She's like, yeah, that's it. That's really good. And I said, she goes, you should have a Mexican lager. The menu's right in front of her. And I said, oh, I do have one. She goes, oh, where? And I look and I point it to her. And we like to have fun with our names. A lot of them are just railroad names. And this one is called Tracks Over the Border. You can only imagine, as a Mexican lager, all of the different variations of crazy-ass names that we came up with.
Sure.
90% of them inappropriate
Absolutely.
for this venue.
I mean, this is a train that
Yeah, it just
goes back and forth the border of Mexico. I mean,
that's
it's
right,
not.
over the border. Yes. Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's not.
And the tile is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, the tile is beautiful. Carrie, who works here, is actually sitting here observing this and laughing her head off. Paints all these things, and so we'll actually display some of the artwork. We're gonna get our own Facebook page and all this other stuff for the podcast eventually. So once that happens, all this stuff will be posted. So anyway, I point to it, and she goes, "Tracks Over the Border." Well, you're not gonna ever sell any of that. And I was like, "We're not gonna what? I'm sorry." She goes, "Not with that kind of name." And I don't know how she took the name.
Does she own a brewery?
No, but she
Is
should.
she a businesswoman?
No, she's not.
Okay.
Nor is she a business consultant, clearly,
Clearly not.
because she doesn't know anything about beer.
We haven't had any problem selling it.
I have not. And honestly, no one has ever complained about a name.
No
And I
one
have
has
a beer
ever.
called Devil's Brew here in the Bible Belt. So, like,
And I mean, people have that look like they're, coming back from church. They'd be drinking it.
oh, it's a solid beer.
It's just because of the
It's
name
really
doesn't mean
good.
you can't drink it.
It's really good. How it got the name,
Which one?
Devil's Brew, ask me.
How did he get his name?
I would love to tell you this story. Clearly, we're not wrapping up this podcast anytime
No,
soon. It's
no,
all good.
that's
Y'all
it.
got time. You're loving this. We're having a good time.
Crack a beer with us, why don't you?
So way back when I was planning, this is going to be the longer story because that's what I do best. I'm planning the brewery, going through financing with the bank, and they say, a local bank here in Jessup, that I'm probably 4 months into trying to get all the financing squared away. And he springs on me that I have to do a feasibility study. So I'm from Pennsylvania. I don't know where you're from, but a feasibility study is like a 1 to 2 year study. We're talking statistics, surveys, analysis, research, interviews, the whole 9 yards. 250-page report, feasibility study.
That's way above my pay
And this
grade.
is what he asked me to do 4 months into this when I'm hemorrhaging money, burning through savings, just trying to get through, right? And I lose my shit. So, in Jessup, all due respect, a feasibility study means Survey Monkey on Facebook. Survey Monkey, yes. So I had to put a survey together. I worked with Molly Hall, who was the downtown development officer at the time, down at City Hall. We put together the survey, put it out, whatever. And I said, hey, I'm not going to read any of the comments. This is on Facebook. I'm starting to know a lot of people. I don't want to know if they have a problem with the brewery. So what the bank wanted to know was if Jessup was going to support a brewery, was going to be accepting of a brewery, if there was going to be enough traffic for a brewery to know whether or not they could finance it. Why they decided to do this 4 months into the whole freaking process and not at the very beginning, I don't know.
It's super weird.
Yes. I don't know that they
I'd have been
actually
very
knew what
upset
they were doing.
that you've already poured a certain amount into it.
100%.
They're like, oh, we're not going to fund you anymore.
And I was serving beer over in Tracks, the axe throwing facility. So anyway, whatever. I say, Molly, I'm not reading comments unless you absolutely need me to. You can do whatever you want to. I'll just watch the statistics. That's hard to do after half an Icehouse.
Stuff got you there, didn't it?
Well, I guess it's a full Icehouse because it's 24 ounces.
we split it.
Yeah.
So there's none left in the thing.
So anyway, she calls and she's like, hey, there's a discussion. People think you're opening up another bar in town. They don't know the difference between a bar and a brewery. Can you just jump in and kind of clear that up? And I was like, okay. I mean, I was at home. I had a couple beers already. So I find the comment and, wax eloquently as one does, explain the difference between a brewery and a bar. And like I said, I had a couple, and I was like, screw this, I'm going to read the comments. So I start from the top, and I read down. And for every kind of somewhat negative comment, there were 2 or 3 positives. Everybody overwhelmingly was really excited.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a relief.
Well, yeah, because you didn't really want
Yeah.
to look at them because
No,
you
I
didn't want to see the negative comments.
I didn't. And I found this one comment, and it was a woman, and I'm not judging. It's fantastic. It gave me a beer name, a whole lot of notoriety for this particular comment. And I don't know if alcohol touched her life in some way, whether it was religious, someone was killed, alcoholism, whatever it was. I respect this woman. But her comment was, we don't need another place selling the Devil's Brew.
Wow, what a great name for a beer.
That's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I thought.
End the sentence right there. That is perfect.
Boom. So that's how that name came about. It is a habanero Irish red, and it is one of my favorite beers.
It's pretty popular.
It is tied for first with our Oktoberfest right now, in my mind.
The Oktoberfest is really good right now.
Yes. It's called Gruselfest, which means Scarefest. That was named by Carrie. She came up with that. Obviously, she painted the tile. And it's fitting because we brewed so much of it that it will last through October into a Halloween season.
How much did we brew?
Well, this year we just did 4 kegs. So,
oof, better get it now because we're probably going to get down on it.
You probably will, yeah. Last year, the first time I brewed it, I did 8 kegs for Oktoberfest, yes. And I guess it worked out because we didn't have Oktoberfest this year. We still might.
We need to do something, a little something. You know?
We do.
Because we all have outfits we got to wear.
We do. Yes.
I was excited about the outfit, you know.
I know, yeah. So that's going to be good. So stay tuned. We'll be advertising the hell out of that. I don't know. I guess we ought to wrap this up.
We should probably wrap it up.
Okay.
They're probably tired of listening to us talk.
I don't know. I'm not tired of talking, though.
I know, right? We do this all day.
It's a lot of fun, yeah. So, question of the show. Ask a question. We'll read it on air. We'll get you a gift certificate or something if we choose your question. And we mentioned the can shelf that we have here that Icehouse will go up on and, bring us a beer. We'll open it and taste it here on the show and give us your or we'll give you your comments.
Yeah, we'll comment on it. Yeah.
Wow, that's only 5.5%.
Wow. Woo, yeah, only 5.5.
All right.
Technically, you only have had 1.
Technically.
But it's still early.
Yeah, but it was bad enough. It might as well have been 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Hang it on the wall though. That would be nice. You know, we get a whole wraparound of a whole bunch of cans on a shelf or bottles or whatever have you.
Indeed.
That would be nice.
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Yep. Cool. So it's been awesome. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for doing this. I can't wait
to do the next one.
I can't wait for the next one.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be great.
We'll tell everybody about it and share it out and come stop by and see us and have a beer.
That's right. All right. Cheers, y'all. Thank you for listening to the Rock-N-Brews podcast. Come visit us at Union Station Brewing Company, 106 Southwest Broad Street, Jessup, Georgia. Union Station Brewing Company, craft beer just got better.